like to call the meeting in order is 6:31. What do we have for additions to the agenda? Do we have any? Yeah, I thought so. I'm just going through my packet here. Oh, personnel. Yeah,
Personnel
I saw that.
topic, and then,
Personnel.
there's a tree branch concern on Powderhorn Glen Road.
There's a what? Tree branch?
Yeah,
That's something we need to talk about, the tree branch?
She plans to attend the meeting tonight, so
What's that?
Maureen Starr plans to attend the meeting this evening to talk about it because she's come in and asked about this tree branch and a number of her neighbors have more than once.
Where's the tree branch?
On the corner of Powderhorn Glen Road.
Oh, yeah, I heard about it. Okay,
There's.
Yeah.
All of them, yeah, the same.
all right. Okay, I'll write down personnel discussion. Review a minute, select board meeting, August 18th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes?
Second. Any further discussion? Not hearing any? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. The ayes appear to have it, they do have it. The meeting minutes are approved from August 18th. Public comment? Do we have any on there? I see public, but no comment. All right, so we're gonna move to the first item. Recreation Board Shelter Grant Financial with Nick Vandenberg, possible motion. That's in parentheses. Maybe not. You have the
Good evening.
floor. Good evening.
Should I go and share my screen so that folks online can see what I'm. Talking about? Yep. So, thanks again for having me in. What I'm intending to present here is sort of my understanding of the budget for the park shelter project that's been proposed. I can also just sort of give a quick update on where the grant application stands currently. So we did a full application.
Just, I mean, so some people may come to this fresh.
Yeah.
Some of us.
Can we sort of start from the beginning?
Yeah, yeah, just
Absolutely.
in a nutshell, please.
Yep, all right, so it all began, I think by 2023, somebody in the rec board was like, hey, you know, we gotta have a park shelter there, so. Then I think my first step was I submitted it as an idea in the, like when the town solicits ideas for the capital improvement plan. Then I had a meeting here with the capital improvement committee. And explained sort of to them what the idea was, and my understanding at that time was they were in favor of it, and they had, I think, then recommended to you folks some amount from some fund. And then we also were, I was made aware of the LWC grant opportunity. And so we did a pre-application. And that was approved, and then we did a full application. I forget exactly when the dates were on those, but the full application was also approved by the state Forest Parks and Recreation. But it's a federal grant, so basically the stage we're at currently now is I'm corresponding with the state of Vermont FPR folks as needed to provide them any information that they need. They're putting together the application that goes to the federal whatever entity, National Park Service, I think. And so, but everything's been good. I had a site visit with them in July, the rec deal, they just further explaining exactly what we're building, where it would be, so they got to. You know, they had all the application material prior to that, but they hadn't actually physically been there, and so we had the site visit in July. And that all went well, and as part of our full application, we had to submit a budget. And there was one item in there that they said wasn't eligible for funding, so I've since provided them an updated budget. There was one line item, which I knew was a bit of a stretch, but I thought, I'll just let them tell me no, and they did, so. But you know, don't tell you try. Anyway, so what I'm presenting here then is, this is the updated budget. And so the one item that we couldn't include was basically my work in fundraising. In other words, like, it's all volunteer effort on the part of myself and others, like to do the food concessions and all those things that we do that raise money that would support this project. A lot of the other work that I've done. Way up there. A lot of the other work that I've done and continue to do is eligible for being counted as like in-kind match from the town. So like, for example, the work that I did to like obtain select board approval, and the work that I did to obtain the construction permit through the town, like all of those activities are eligible for, it's counting towards match for the town. But my work for fundraising was not eligible, so that's why that one's crossed out.
Yeah.
In Exhibit A. So Exhibit A is, this is the budget that went to FPR, the latest updated one. So a couple things I want to point out here. I won't go through the whole thing, but just I wanted to illustrate a couple of items. So on that first, in section 1, under administrative and legal expenses, there's this row up, I'm just gonna pick on secure contractors, right? So that's a post-award activity as detailed in the project work plan. So I said, okay, I'm gonna estimate that 60 hours of my time going out soliciting bids and putting together RFPs and talking to contractors, doing all that stuff. And according to Forest Parks and Recreation, this was in that $33.49 an hour, that came from them. They had a resource that they pointed to and said, that's where you go to figure out what a volunteer labor hour is worth. So that's then, you know, the math comes out, okay, so that's $2,009. And that's the total cost for that activity. And so then and it's allowable cost, so that's why it carries over that rightmost column as a total allowable cost. If we go down to section 7 on your site work. There's an item there for laying out, excavating for the slab, and putting in base aggregate. So then the description just kind of goes through, well, how did I come up with that number? So the short version is, okay, we estimate the size of it, so that's 32 cubic yards. Do we assume a price per yard for aggregate? And that total cost is $648. Let's assume it's 3 hours of dump truck service at $100 an hour to get the material to the site, and then we round that up to 1,000. And then I'm saying, okay, let's estimate it's 40 hours of unskilled volunteer labor. That's myself and others that would be doing the work of doing that excavation and placing that dirt, that aggregate. And that comes out to $1,340. And then I also said, okay, we'll include 3 days of donated tractor backhoe equipment at a cost of $350 per day. That $350 per day was like, that's what it costs to rent a small backhoe or a small piece of equipment from the rental place in Berlin. Okay, so the total of all those activities is $33.90. So the reason I chose that one to talk about is, if we go now to Exhibit B and find that same row that has to do with the layout and excavation for the slab. You go to Exhibit B, it's labeled as row H there. So it's the same description of, the same math, okay? That cost, that sum is $33.90. So now the thing I wanted to, that we do with Exhibit B is break down those costs in terms of how they're viewed through the grant program. So sorry, the column headers didn't carry down. So the material cost was that $650. The, I'm calling contractor cost, in this case, equipment cost, was $350. Those are actual expenses. So those have to be paid to somebody. And then this town in-kind donation, that was the $23.90, that was the volunteer labor effort. So now the next column is showing the town's upfront cash share. In other words, how much money does the town actually have to spend? And when I say the town, I mean the funds that are made available through the select board, as well as the funds that the recreation board would be fundraising. So the total upfront cost to accomplish that activity is $1,000. Then the next column is the LWCF share, so basically that is. That's 50% of the eligible cost. And the reason those numbers are what they are is because. All that volunteer effort is an eligible cost as far as the grant is concerned, but it's not money that the town's actually spending. It's just people doing the work. But it
Gotcha.
counts, it basically counts towards the town's contribution.
Well, it's kind of in kind,
Right,
so to speak. I mean, it's not money coming out of our pocket, but it's done by volunteers, et cetera, et cetera. So
exactly.
you're just keeping account of it.
Yep.
For purposes of the grant.
Yeah.
They want to match,
Right,
and this is part of the match.
exactly. That's part of our match is
Right.
that volunteer
Yeah.
effort. So then the big takeaway for me is like, okay, but all of that volunteer effort we put forward then offsets how much cash the town actually has to
Yeah.
spend on the materials
Yeah.
and contract.
There needs to be a match, but you're trying to offset some of the match.
We're trying to minimize the amount of
Right.
match that is
Yeah,
cash.
you're trying to
Yep.
minimize how much you're gonna get out of us,
Right.
so to speak.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Well,
But accurate.
let's be accurate.
Yes. Okay, so that was just to illustrate one of those. So now the next exhibit, oh, sorry, before I move on. So in exhibit B, the last two columns on the right. One of them is the anticipated date of the town expense. In other words, when we think the town's gonna spend that money, and this is all based on the project schedule that was submitted as part of the grant application. So you'll see for that example we were just looking at. We're excavating and placing the base aggregate, we're saying, okay, that's. We anticipate that happening in April of 2027, that's when we'd spend the money to do that work. And then, as part of the grant program, they explain that, so the town has to fund these activities up front. And then they say you can only submit for reimbursement quarterly. So that's why I've said here, like, okay, let's assume that we don't see that money back until June of that year. So it says you could submit quarterly, they do say it will make exceptions if there's some extenuating circumstance. But generally what it says in the program is you can submit for reimbursement quarterly and it takes 4 to 6 weeks to process. So there's basically a lag from when the town spends the money to when the grant program reimburses it. This is my understanding, I'm not a grant expert, I just, based on everything I've read. So, okay, so then as we go to exhibit C. What I've done here is just taken those anticipated expenses. And the anticipated date of the transactions, as well as the anticipated reimbursements. And the sort of estimated dates for when those transactions would occur, in other words. Just saying how much money and when do we have to spend it, and then how much money and when is it coming back? So that's exhibit Z, exhibit C is just summarizing. That information from what was in exhibit B. And the reason I created that was then so I could create exhibit D, which is. Just illustrating. The total cash flow for the project, in other words. How much money does the town have out there? Over time. So. You'll see that the high point, I highlighted that in exhibit C, but the largest number. Here is 46,370, so that's basically our, the point at which we've spent the most, and we haven't really seen much money, if any money, come back yet. Through reimbursements. So that's this point here on the graph. Or exhibit B. And then you can see as the reimbursements start to come back, and the total amount expended sort of bounces around here. As we go through the project, we're spending money, we're getting reimbursements, it goes back and forth, but in the end. We anticipate that the total expense from the town, in terms of like actual cash spent, is gonna be right around 30,000. And again, that's all town money, meaning whatever you folks are able to provide, plus what the rec board is gonna fundraise. So. Anticipate questions, hopefully that made sense, and then go through too fast.
Bringing contingency built into this, but.
There is. A little exhibit A. That was one of the line items here with contingency included. Yeah, so we assumed 10% construction inflation from the original. So all those figures that were in there were based on quotes I got from contractors, quotes I got from materials, and then sort of estimated quantities and estimated time for labor. And then the budget does include this 50% contingency for inflation.
I got a question or two or three. So, okay, so as I remember, when you were in here before, maybe I missed something. There was options for the shelters.
Yep.
You had three different options, as I remember.
Yep.
And they went from least expensive to most expensive.
Right.
You've already chosen the design or the,
So
Shelter, looks like?
we, based on the meetings we had previously and
Yeah.
sort of what we understood the budget to be, and what I understood at the time was sort of the amount that the town was, or that you folks were perhaps willing to contribute to the project. I took that information and then what it, with the rec board, what we think we could accomplish for fundraising. And we had to like demonstrate something in the application. In other words, we had to like, to put in the grant application, we had to sort of choose a path. And not that we're necessarily bound to that, but I just needed something to illustrate.
Uh-huh.
So for the purpose of the grant, I said like, well, let's assume the numbers work out to do one of the timber frame options. So let's put that in the grant application, and if down the road we have to change gears and go a different path, like, that's all still fair game. The overall intention or end game of the project doesn't really change. It's still gonna be a park shelter at the rec field, so as far as the grant program is concerned, you know, we can, if we have to make a change like that, we can. And I'll note
Okay.
too, there are some other changes we could make to the design to still do a timber frame, but to shave some of the costs off of it. Like, for example, you know, that budget included a concrete slab, which, you know, to excavate, put in the subgrade materials you want on the slab, and then put in the slab, you know, that was at least $10,000. But I was at a park shelter, just like what we're trying to build in Cambridge earlier this summer, and they just put it on helical piles. And I called those folks and it's like $700 a pile. So
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there's definitely some options we can change to reduce the cost up front and still do the timber.
but
frame.
the difference, also you settled on the timber frame because the cheaper option was not timber frame. It
Right.
was like $30,000 and the other ones were like 100, the timber frames.
Right,
So you kicked out the cheapest option and went with the most expensive.
for the
That's
purpose of
what's out
putting it in the grant, but like I
Yeah.
said, that doesn't preclude us from going back to the cheapest option if it's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the cheaper option was $30,000 total. Something like that. It was pretty cheap,
Yeah, it was considerably cheaper, yeah.
a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It's like a third. So anyway. That was my biggest question because it looked like you had settled on a fairly expensive option when the town, you know, is gonna have to come up with 30,000 and you got a grant for at least 30,000.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of in kind there, so the whole project's just $100,000 or so.
Yeah, right, I mean, based on
So
this
that
budget,
was a lot more than I was anticipating when I looked at the options before. The cheaper option was a lot cheaper.
right,
So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the thought behind picking a timber frame versus the steel? I think it was a steel framed
Yeah.
building.
yeah. Yeah, it was basically like a pole barn kit. I mean, that's what I used to build my garage at home. That's why I knew about those.
Yeah. Oh, the steel girder thing?
Yeah,
The
the
steel
steel
trusses
truss.
basically is
Yep.
what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Um,
Okay, well,
I mean, I
you
think,
gave me my answer. I just was
Yeah.
wondering which option you picked out because I didn't realize you'd already picked
I'm curious about the answer to your question.
one.
yeah, so we aren't committed to any path.
Okay,
For the purpose of the grant, I said, and I think I maybe explained this at the time, I remember like, basically like, let's swing for the fences, and then if the grant works out.
Yeah.
Basically, we can get $100,000 shelter, and the cost is, and the select board would need to maybe put forth 20,000 town funds.
Yeah.
And the rec board is gonna fundraise the remaining to get us that 30,000 figure, that would be the final total actual money spent by the town.
Uh-huh.
So, but if those numbers aren't feasible, then certainly we can still go back to that other option.
So just following up on that, what are the advantages of the timber frame over the steel frame?
Yeah, I think, I mean, from my point of view, I think it's, you know, it's a structure that is, well, I mean, it's gonna look a lot nicer. I think it's, you know, sort of, so it's a big investment for the town, and it's something that becomes in sort of a centerpiece for what you have to offer at the school and the recreation fields. Not that the steel truss option, you know, not that park shelter wouldn't be good, but having visited that one, and I didn't know it was existed there. My son happened to have a soccer game in Cambridge back in May. And I saw the shelter that they had built, and I was like, oh, this is like exactly what we had in mind. Big timber frame, it's on the helical piles, and it was pretty new. I think they must have built it in the last year, so it smelled new. I know, it's like, it really makes a difference for that space. And I think if we can make that work, I think it's a better investment in the long run, it's an attractive thing for the town. And something that, you know, would perhaps be of interest for those that are considering moving to the town, just to, again, see that it's a really nice recreation facility. But like I said too, really the reason I chose those numbers to put in the grant application was like, it's much easier for us to sort of shrink that budget than to put in the grant application and say, well, instead of 30,000, actually 100,000, you know what I mean? Much easier to go back the other way.
Okay, so when in this process would the final decision be made?
It would need to be made by June of 2026. That's the soonest that we can spend any money or sign any contracts with any vendors or contractors.
And what information do you anticipate having by that point?
Any information that you require.
No, but from the grant process, for example, will you have an approved grant?
Yes, right, that's the soonest we would anticipate having an approved grant.
Okay.
And it's signed by all the parties.
So, but your pre-application has been approved? Or not?
Yeah, the pre-application basically just gave us a permission slip to submit a full application.
Okay, and so you've submitted that?
We did our full application and the state then does a review at their level.
Yeah.
To see if it meets all of the guidelines for the program. And everything, whatever other scoring that they use. And then, we met their requirements. So now the state has taken all of our application materials plus all the work they have to do on top of it. To put together the actual grant application that goes up to National Park Service.
So it's still in limbo, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, every time you come here, you have obviously put in a whole lot of work in thinking this through and putting together materials for us to look at.
So,
I really appreciate that. This final exhibit here is eye-opening for me. And when I look at that, I'm wondering, the federal government has proven to be an unreliable partner when it comes to finances and this year. Is there a point in here where we could be putting out our money in expectation of federal reimbursement that then doesn't come?
Yeah, I asked a similar question of the state Forest Parks and Recreation folks because. You know, certainly in the first quarter of this year, when the new administration came in, that's when a lot of federal grant programs were put on hold. And so there was some communication at that time with those folks. To understand, like, is this still happening? Is this all done for? What's the status? So there was a brief pause, but then they've since, you know, they're moving forward with the program. We will know, I mean, once the grant agreement has been signed, then the funds will come.
I don't think that's always been the case this year for people who sign grant agreements with the federal government.
I know a lot of people who lost grants
Really?
that were approved.
oh yeah, that's happening all over. It's
Happening
happening through
all over.
NRCS every day. Yeah, so,
I know in my regular work, we had some. I was involved in a grant program there, and that one ended up being entirely sort of canned. But it wasn't awarded yet, so. Or the funds weren't obligated yet.
but I just got one more question.
Yeah.
So we have this anticipated date of transaction, the value change. What I'd like to see is the option with the steel girders put into this sheet.
Yep.
So we knew what the bottom line was on the other option. Right, because the bottom line on this is 30,000.
Yep.
With your expensive timber frame.
Right,
With the steel girder design, how would that number at the bottom change?
I can certainly put that together.
Yeah, I mean, that would be useful at the next time we meet.
Yep.
So we have more information to make it, a decision about spending town money.
And the other thing, I think that you definitely want to build at least a 20% contingency, no matter what option you do.
Okay.
That's pretty standard for any project that I've ever been involved in, and now with the uncertainty in Washington and tariffs, who knows what's gonna happen.
Right.
So I would put that in as a minimum.
Yeah, I can certainly make that change.
Right. Okay, so when are we gonna see you again, or is this?
I can be here as soon as, I mean, it won't take me long to put together that updated budget to include.
And that's not a big hurry, because you don't
Yeah.
even know if we have a grant.
Right.
So, I'm just saying, next time we meet, it'd be nice to have that, those options.
Yeah.
The numbers to look at, because that makes a lot more sense than. We're just looking at the most expensive option we have, especially when we're talking about what we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the difference gonna be?
Yep, I can do that.
All right,
Well, I'd say it really makes a difference that they've been thinking about this for a while, that they've been thinking about different alternatives, that they're in touch with us throughout the process, giving us updates, giving us lots of solid information. Really appreciate that.
Of course.
No, you do a fabulous job, very impressive.
all right,
Thank you.
so we'll have a meeting at some point before, or, I mean, do we have to have more meetings before they know whether they have a grant or not? Because. If they don't have a grant, then it's a lot of work that they're gonna put into it.
Right,
Not,
right.
like,
When did you find out about the grant?
he says next.
Next April or something?
June 26th.
Well, that's when we could start spending it.
So presumably you find out about it before you can start spending. it. Not the same day.
Right, yeah, no, so they have the timeline here on their website. Yeah, so grant application will be review and selection is from mid-March to May of 2025. Compliance reviews is June to October of 2025. So they'll submit to National Park Service between July of this year and January of next year. Grant notification and grant agreement development is February to May of 2026. So somewhere in that first to second quarter of next year is
Yeah.
when we should know for certain, like, okay,
Yeah.
it's happening.
Yeah, and then I think that would be the time that we'd have to look. So we feel, because then you get more current numbers anyway,
Yeah,
you know, construction costs, they change. Of
course.
Well, and so that doesn't mean you have to put a ton of work in from now until then.
right.
It means you gotta put some work in closer to when you know about the grant.
Yep.
And that's more relevant information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll plan on the next time that we get together
Yeah.
to, I'll have, of course, an update on the grant status, but I'll be sure to include that same cost breakdown
Yes,
for the cheapest option.
yeah, yep,
Okay.
okay. All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I'm a little behind you. Next thing is consideration of CDBG DR grant application submission with planning commission. All right, yep. The community development block grant disaster recovery. Someone gonna discuss that from the planning commission? Oh, Ben, okay, hi, Ben.
Hello, everyone. So, this is the same thing that we came and, well, this is a later stage of what we came and discussed with you some weeks back. This is an opportunity to get a planning grant up to probably around $250,000 to fund a comprehensive resilience plan for North Montpelier in response to the damage from the floods in July 2023. And at the last time, after our last meeting, you all kindly approved a pre-application. And hats off to Jen for burning the midnight oil, getting that pre-application in on time. And we submitted that, got some very helpful feedback from the folks at the state office that handles these grants. This is federal money that kind of comes through the state. And since that time, we've received support from the READY program, the Rural Economic Development Initiative, to directly support a grant writer to help the Planning Commission and the North Montpelier sort of committee that's been championing this effort to put together a full application, which is due later this month. And we in the Planning Commission discussed the plans as they are emerging at our meeting last week and endorsed moving forward with this. And so we wanted to bring it to the select board once again to kind of seek final approval for submitting an application later this month and holding a required public hearing. I should emphasize there's no required match from the town of any sort for this planning grant. There's been no cost to the town other than Jen's time in preparing the pre-application and the application. And I definitely want to acknowledge all the hard work of folks like Selena, and Renee helped out with the effort too, and other folks in North Montpelier who've been envisioning what this planning effort could look like. So happy to answer any questions, or attempt to answer any questions you might have.
I just have one question. I didn't realize there was that much flood damage in North Montpelier. I know there was a little, but were there houses impacted in North Montpelier? I don't remember that there were.
Yes, there were. Thank you, Seth, for asking. Lisa Kreis in particular had extensive damage. Robbie Porter's dam was wiped out, as you may remember. Factory Street was also wiped out. There are a number of houses that did not document, but had significant damage, and septic systems, et cetera. I don't want to flag them, but they are running into the pond. And so we need some help. We need to get this town revitalized. And since I've grown up here, the 2 stores have closed, the businesses that were there, the post office, the Masonic Hall. I mean, it has been absolutely clobbered. So it is time for our town to take North Montpelier seriously, to build on higher ground, get out of the floodplain, and this grant can help us do that.
Well, it makes a plan. I don't think it helps finance it, but whatever.
Well, so I should mention,
mention.
there are 2 categories of grants that one can apply for: a planning grant or an implementation grant through this program. We talked with the state. They said that we don't have enough done in terms of site planning, engineering work, and things like that to proceed with an implementation grant. But a planning grant of this scale could give us that groundwork that would allow us to apply for an implementation grant in future rounds of CDBG.
All right. Okay, anybody have any questions for Ben? Or
Not much
Selena?
downside.
Yeah.
Right, it's not gonna cost us any money.
Yeah, I mean, I have questions. First
Okay.
of all, we have this document in our packet. It's an undated, unsigned document about this. Who is that from?
That's from me. Sorry for not having. I guess I thought it would have some attribution when it got to you, but that was just a 1-pager that I put together over the weekend.
Okay,
Give you a little bit of background information, so I wasn't blindsiding you with this.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
And just, it's no cost out of our pocket, but you were talking about Jen burning the midnight oil the last time around. What's the estimate of the amount of town administrator time that would take to complete the application? And, you know, what are our chances of getting the grant? And then if we do get the planning grant, what are the chances of that being fundable in the future? What sort of possible outlays for the town versus other funds are we looking at?
Yeah, I can only let Jen speak to the time aspect because I'm not directly involved with that work. But in terms of the probabilities, it's always difficult to predict the probabilities of grant proposal work. This particular competition was only oversubscribed by about a factor of 2 or so, meaning that the total amount of pre-application cost was about double the budget that the state has for the program. Which, you know, in my life, I've been applying for grants my whole professional career. That's an amazing, those are amazing odds to have, you know, only, have as much as a 50% chance statistically of getting a grant. But of course, you know, you never know what the different projects are that are coming into the mix and how ours would compete. But we did get very encouraging feedback from the folks from the state that we met with. They were not kind of saying, well, we're not really sure about this. You know, they were kind of saying, we would recommend that you apply for it at this level, and this seems like a good thing for the town and would position you for future opportunities. I can't speak to the probability of future opportunities, right? You know, I think the one thing that I've learned from writing grants is that when you don't write a grant proposal and don't submit it, you have a 100% probability of not receiving the funds.
Thank you.
And-
And what's your thoughts on how much time it would take to finish this?
So it actually took more time having the conversations and understanding what the goals were with the team and speaking with Selena and her vision. So that probably took 3 hours or so with emails and talking, and then maybe writing it was like an hour. Was pretty quick once you know the vision. and then leveraging AI, so.
Just
And
to
I
be
should also add,
clear,
Oh,
if
and
I
then
might
we
also,
have a
if I
grant
might also add,
writer.
one,
grant writer, I mean, we've been paid, like, we were just paid to have a professional grant writer. So that should really ease up on Jen's time. I mean, that is the whole point that thanks to Renee, we got a ready grant to hire John, who is going to be taking the brunt of this. And he also happens to really be a good grant writer in terms of affordable housing. He's got a very deep background on this and has done a number of CDBG grants. So we feel very encouraged that he's on our team. He's also writing the one for the implementation grant for Goddard. So he has the big 100-mile view. But this seems to be such a no-brainer for the town. There is literally no money that we need to extend. This is all additive. We have been given a professional grant writer with Jen's help to sort of oversee and just make sure that everything is, in line for East Montpelier. I think we're in a really good place, and John seems to be very encouraged that we have a good shot.
And if I can add a technical detail to answer the question and fill in a few blanks, the READY program is providing $7,500 to pay for this consultant grant writer who was referred to us by the READY program, which is administered out of the Vermont Housing Conservation Board. And so he will work with the North Montpelier group to put together the language of the grant, and it can be in a document ahead of time and totally prepared so that when he goes, so the town, since the municipality is receiving the money, Jen is the administrator that owns the account. And so at the point when the grant has been written, then Selena, maybe another member of the North Montpelier fundraising committee, can sit down with Jen and just, they can email the document to her ahead of time and they can just copy and paste. So Jen's role can be very minimal in terms of time. We just need to go through her because she represents the town. I hope that's answered questions, but if you have more questions, I'll try to answer.
Keep in mind.
Yep. I would just add that, and some of you have been around in town for a while, and you probably got this already under control and into the grant writing pipeline, but I want to remind you, just in case, that the town passed at town meeting a motion to commit to strategic retreat from flood prone areas. That was somewhere around 2010 plus or minus a year or two. So you could check the town meeting minutes and get that information. But the town's already made a commitment to do something at the grand level that you're proposing here, to be doing at a fairly specific level.
Yeah, thank you for that, Carl. It's also is the the Office of Community Development, was it Vermont VCDP program of ACCD, sent around a memo that very specifically talks about the goal to get the future affordable housing up and out of flood-prone areas. In fact, there is a specific request in writing the grant to explain how this project will be working toward that goal.
Okay. Disinvestment is what you called it.
Strategic disinvestment. That's right. Good,
Right.
Good memory. Thank you.
Anyway, okay. Sounds
So
good.
I move to authorize the town administrator to prepare and submit the municipal CDBG-DR planning grant on behalf of the town of East Montpelier, with support from John Broderick.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes appear to have it. They do have it.
There is another question on here about authorizing a public hearing by September 25th. Do we hear
Where's
more
that?
about that?
Oh,
Yeah, part of this grant program is that we have to hold a public hearing, I think by September 25th. Before submitting the application. I guess it's part of a process of making sure that you have buy-in from the community for what you're proposing. So my understanding is that notice for that has to be posted by the 10th, which is Wednesday. And the hearing has to be held by the 25th.
maybe we
So
could do
we're
it.
not, I don't think we're asking the select board to conduct the hearing. I think we're just kind of seeking your blessing to move forward with that.
Oh. Asked to authorize the meeting.
Right.
The hearing.
Right,
Maybe we could do it at a select board meeting, I suppose.
we don't have a select board meeting
That's the 22nd.
the 22nd, so he said,
Oh, when is our meeting?
he said that it needs to be a 2-week notice,
A 15-day notice.
a 15-day notice, yeah.
Oh, 15, right?
Yeah.
Too late.
Just enough to be
Too
too late,
late.
yeah.
Well, then they can have a public hearing.
Yeah,
We don't have to have it.
but
They just need our authorization.
right, so you just need a simple motion from us to authorize the planning commission, is that would be who it would be to hold a public hearing?
I'm not sure if we even need you to, but it would be wonderful if we just had the select board's blessing to go ahead and hold the hearing.
Yeah, we can authorize your hearing. We
Yeah,
don't know who's gonna administer the hearing,
right, well,
correct?
yeah, we
Yeah,
don't,
I think
whether they
planning-
need our authorization.
Well, we'll just
The
do it.
planning commission could certainly take the responsibility of organizing the hearing.
Okay.
It'll be super well attended for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be packed, yes.
So why don't we make the
Go
motion?
on, like,
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I move to authorize the planning commission to hold a public hearing with regard to this grant app to the CDBG -DR planning grant application. By September 25th, as required by the program.
I want to second that one.
Oh, you're gonna say?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
wow.
Enthusiastic.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The aye. The ayes have it. They appear to have it. They do have it.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
thank you.
Oh, man. New planning commission recommendation for CVRPC representation.
That'll be me again, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'll be very brief with this.
Oh, nice.
We, not having heard any feedback on our previous recommendation for CVRPC representation, the planning commission essentially urged me to come back to the select board and again reiterate our recommendation to appoint Renee Carpenter as the alternate for CVRPC. The planning commission unanimously voted to make that recommendation again and asked me to bring it forward to the select board.
Okay, so you're making recommendation for Renee. Is that correct?
Correct. The original recommendation we made in April was a little bit more complicated. You might recall that we had recommended putting Claris in the commissioner's seat and then Renee in the alternate seat and then put Zoe back as commissioner when she returned. But with the passage of time, that full recommendation kind of doesn't make much sense anymore. So we wanted to offer a fresh recommendation of simply removing Claris as the alternate and replacing her with Renee.
Okay. All right. So in order to do that, we would have to have a motion from the select board to appoint Renee as the alternate. That's what it would take.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. All right. Not hearing any motions. No, I guess we're not gonna appoint her because I don't have a motion. Correct? Yep. We seem to be in solidarity on not providing a motion. Is that correct? Okay,
So
Okay.
I will just speak up for the town because, and I see there's someone here from the Regional Planning Commission and they could maybe have more to say about this. for whatever your reasons are, is fine, but Clarice is stepping down. She has other obligations. And
Yep,
nobody else is stepping up, and that means that Zoe, when she shows up, can represent the town, but the Regional Planning Commission, based on Act 181, has a lot more obligations. And they have put out a second or third call for people to help them write their regional plan. Now, I've run into Zoe once, and she can speak for herself about how much extra energy she has being a select board member and now the planning commission representative for the town. But if there is nobody representing the town, then the town doesn't have a voice. At the same time, when the Regional Planning Commission is going through all kinds of changes.
okay. Well, thank you for providing that, feedback, Renee. I think the next step is we have to reach out to Zoe, see what's going on there before we proceed with anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And then something we address it.
Yes, we'll address it to Zoe, number one, and then we have to.
We
look
heard
at
it was
it.
back in town.
Yeah, well, we need to talk to.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so out of due respect to you, Renee, we're gonna move on. And we're gonna pursue what we have to do with our select board member, Zoe. Christensen.
Great, thank you.
Yep, thank you, Renee. So we gotta keep moving here, folks, because we're getting late, we have people waiting. Discuss public works mutual aid agreement. Now, on this agreement, I did talk to Guthrie kind of quickly about it. He didn't really want to have a formal agreement. It's good to have an agreement, but he was feeling that this is a little over the top in that you have to keep track of all the time that you put in to another town and they put into you, where he would rather have it a little looser in that you could just go help the town, the other town was in trouble. Kind of like mutual aid, yeah, Tom?
So since I was on the board previously, we've always had mutual aid agreements in principle with the city of Montpelier, town of Calais, town of Worcester, town of Plainfield, and I see no reason to have any formal.
Well, this was more specific is what he was saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So-
Which is concerning to me.
Right, he was concerned about that aspect of it. Now, as far as the agreement, do we have anything in writing that's,
Not that I'm aware of.
not that I'm aware of either?
It's,
Right.
it's just.
An informal
Informal.
handshake agreement,
Handshake. agreement, which has worked great, so.
right, that's what he said too, so. I haven't researched this much myself, besides talking to Guthrie about it last Tuesday when I was at the meeting for the town garage. And we just talked about it quickly, so that's as far much as I know about it, actually, so I don't think we should sign it.
You know more about it than I do. What I'm reading in the select board memo is that emergency committee member Patty Javara said that having an agreement like this in place with predefined systems for how to ask for help, points of contact in each town, how to charge for help provided, etc., would make it easier, faster for towns to help each other and avoid issues and disagreements. Any indication that from our experience that we need help along any of those lines?
We've never had any issues.
Yeah.
Right,
We've always come up with a workable agreement that's good for everybody.
well, it's kind of like, they call you, you go,
Right.
we have,
Mhm.
we help each other, neighbor helping neighbors.
Mhm.
We haven't sat down and written down, oh, we spent 3 hours over there, we
Yep.
expect that 3 hours here, blah, blah, blah. That's not really how it works. When you help your neighbor, you're not expecting to be reimbursed the exact amount of hours you're doing. In fact, a lot of times you help them out, you don't expect anything.
You got it.
And when I go help my neighbor, I don't expect to be helped, I just wanna help them out.
Yeah.
So that's how it's worked in that.
Yeah.
So.
You have Ben and Keith raising their hand.
Sure, I don't see that. Oh, yeah, I do. Yep, okay.
Can we see more people? We just see
I think.
one
he's-
name.
He's got.
We have Renee up in
Yeah.
comment letters. Is that what you meant to say?
Yeah,
Okay, yep, we see the hands. We have Selena and we have, who's that above her?
Ben
Ben, yeah, okay,
and Keith.
all right. What do you have to say, starting with Keith? Just so we can move this on, because we are dragging things on here.
Regional
Good
Planning
job.
Commission. So the main impetus of this work is that, you know, in a larger type of disaster event, if you were needing to call up another town, this actually sets up that FEMA reimbursable piece. So it is,
Oh.
to be honest, you don't have to use it at all. But this gives you that groundwork. So in a larger event, if you were calling in another town and they were there for multiple days and wanted to be reimbursed, all the paperwork is actually already set. We don't have to do anything, you know, after the fact. So this had come out from the regional emergency management committee. It was something they had requested after the flood of 23. We're a little late on getting it to everybody because, you know, we got flooded again last year. So everything got slowed down as far as working on putting together the proper paperwork for this and making sure we had all our ducks in a row with the region to be allowed to do this. But yeah, I mean, we know most towns have that handshake agreement with their surrounding towns. This is just to try to cast that net a little farther throughout all 23 towns that fall in our region, so that in a larger event, you can still possibly access the equipment you need for any reconstruction.
So just a quick question on this agreement. What does it change? Does it change our handshake agreements that we have in place at the moment?
No, any agreement you already have that you've been working with, this doesn't change any of that. It's just giving you access to a bigger pool, you know, in an event. And to be honest, we don't know how this is going to work going forward because with all the changes at the federal level,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
if nothing else,
They don't
hopefully
really.
it allows us to be able to utilize each other's services better, even outside of a FEMA type event.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, we would reach for this type of paperwork if we had a large scale disaster and we had to call in a town and they want to get reimbursed from FEMA for the time they spent here.
Yes.
Just to make it easier for them to get reimbursed.
Yeah, exactly. Because the payment would actually process through East Montpelier, but this way everybody can be reimbursed.
Right. I don't think that hurts anybody, really. I mean, if it doesn't hurt us as far as the little agreements that we have between the towns, this is just something we're gonna reach for in a bigger disaster.
And does it obligate us to go help out another town that is hit by a disaster?
Nope, doesn't obligate you to anything because you would have to agree to send your equipment there. So, you know, everybody has to be in agreement the whole way through. It's just letting us cast that net a little further. So, you know, if it's a big enough event where we can't get resources from outside the area to come in, that we can kind of help each other more, especially like in 23 where the Mad River Valley towns weren't affected, you know, if somebody isn't affected, they might be able to provide a little more help to the neighbors.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's okay.
Would have been help to Plainfield last.
Right. I mean,
Does anybody else have any?
we see more hands there. We just want to listen to Keith first. Well, thank you, Keith. I think you answered our questions.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna have to listen. We like to listen to the other people that have their hands up in this discussion. So Selena, I guess, is that next? I see you're up there.
If you're voting for it, I'm fine. I'll back down. But I mean, basically, to go to Carl's point, we have to think about being more self-sufficient. We got to think about how do we rely on each other, not the federal government, not the state government. We got to come up with building back our tax base, with figuring out who does what on, you know, who's on first, who's on second when these storms hit. And I got to say, Plainfield's got a health center. There are a number of, you know, assets in our surrounding communities that we're going to need when things go down. And we also need to be strong, and we need to build back the town that I remember, that I grew up in, and have a place. This to me just says, we've got this. When things go down, we need to have each other's back, because we cannot count on the federal government. We can't count on the state. Like, we really need to be strong and self-sufficient. And that's what the CBDG DR grant is all about. That's what this is about. Like, to me, It's about thinking forward and getting ahead of what's coming down the pike. We all know what's coming down the pike. So let's be strong. Let's not waver on this stuff. Let's take that kind of forward-thinking step and sign this agreement.
Thank you, Selena. And who's the next person that has a hand up?
Uh,
Oh, Ben,
hi.
yeah.
Yes, Ben again. I just wanted to briefly say that if you have hesitations about this agreement, I would encourage you not to write it off until you've gotten a full set of input from the Emergency Preparedness Committee and the Planning Commission. I think both of those bodies were casually invited to contribute opinions, and everyone who responded was very much in favor of this. That's not formal motions by either of those groups, but I would just encourage you to call on those duly constituted committees if you have further concerns.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
I'll make a motion to adopt or ratify the agreement from the CVRP Commission Emergency Mutual Aid Agreement with Public Works Department of its members, municipalities.
Yeah, Rosie, you can tweak
Hmm?
that motion.
Add
a
an
little bit.
amendment to that,
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
as long as it does not preclude the agreements we have in place today.
As long as it doesn't make it more complicated for us to help. our
Preclude
neighbors.
the agreements we have today.
Yeah, yeah, and that's our concern. That's not what we're hearing.
Except
I understand, I just want
That's
to
all.
amend the motion.
Yes, yes.
That's
Thank you,
good.
Tom.
So.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Tom. All right, any further discussion?
Tom seconded.
Yeah, does a motion need to authorize someone to sign it on our behalf?
Good,
looks
good
like-
question.
On page 11 of it, which follows page 1C. I mean, it's page 10.
Page
Okay,
10.
so page 11, there's one signature line per municipality.
Yes, I see
So, does the motion include
It does.
authorizing the select board chair to sign on behalf of the town?
It did, I think.
That's what I thought. yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So we have a motion on the floor, we have a second. Rosie, you're clear on all that? This is kind of complicated. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes appear to have it, they do have it. Let's see, the next item, just consideration of Green Road curb cut. And the curb cut is right here. Permit number 25-038, we have a map. On the Green Road, looks
Do we have
like
anything from the road foreman? It's not on the permit.
He did sign it. Good deal.
he must have looked at it.
It's approved.
Yep. It says recommendation 20 feet of 15-inch culvert and some ditching needed. Of course, we don't know who's gonna put the culvert in, but
Sounds like you guys have something more recent than what was on the website.
new curb cut, oh, there's Bliss Road. Ooh, the driveway is actually coming off Bliss Road, not Green Road. Existing driveways on Green Road. Oh, they're putting in a different driveway is what they're doing. Yep. And, you know, the only question I have is who's gonna put in the culvert? That's always problematic. It's in the town right away. I don't know who's doing it. Anybody have any ideas? Who would be putting in that culvert? I mean, we've seen this in other applications for curb cuts before. And sometimes there is some discussion on who's responsible for that. It says some ditching needed. So I'm thinking the town is probably gonna do that, especially because they always do the ditching. But somebody's gotta put a culvert. We can pass it. I mean, I'm fine with it. I know where it is. Fine, got to be looked at, site distance is probably appropriate. It's just that it would be nice to have that question answered, but we can include it meanwhile. Anybody have any other thoughts on that? Do you know where Bliss Road is?
Yes, I do.
Oh, very good.
Town Hill Road is too, yeah. You know what, it's in East Montpelier.
Oh, very good. Just barely.
I bike a lot of this stuff.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice,
Past before.
nice.
I'll make a motion, we approve the curb cut. As submitted.
I second the
Permit number.
motion to approve the curb cut for permit number 25038.
Yeah. Any further discussion?
And,
I just have a question about, along with this is some other map of Town Hill Road and Bazier Road and Gallatin Hill Road? What's that all about?
I don't see that.
Is that
I don't
connected?
have that.
I don't have that. I just have Bliss Road and Green Road.
Scott has it.
Worcester and Green.
No, that's holding it in his right hand.
Oh, that was on the back.
On the back? Oh, I don't have that on. Oh, wait. You do have that on. No,
What's that all about?
Oh, I know.
I don't have it.
Is that connected with
Must
this
have had it on the
permit
back.
in any way?
No, it's
Okay.
not.
Something else.
I don't have it.
No, this was a road visibility sightline complaint
Oh,
that was submitted.
Is it for the select board to act on in any way?
oh,
or-
we've
Okay.
had that before.
Not that I'm aware of.
That's the same
Okay.
one. We've had that before. We had a highway
Okay.
thing done
I
on
know where this is.
it. Study. You are sharp as a tack. I am proud to be on the select board with you.
Okay, I'm ready to vote then.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve permit number 25-038. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes appear to have it, they do have it. Congratulations, David Russell.
I'd just like to make a point, I have not changed my name and I have not put in illegal.
You're
Look,
sitting
it's
in the
actually-
wrong place. No, I'm not. Oh,
Didn't make me the vice chair?
Star Hess right there.
Oh.
There you go.
All right, let's get on with this here. Consideration of speed limit change request for Vermont Route 14 North.
That's us, yeah.
Okay, now wait a minute. You do realize it's state highway?
Yeah,
Okay.
we do,
Thank you
yeah,
for
of
coming in.
course.
Okay,
So I don't know how that works as far as, who would make the final decision, but I think we're starting the discussion here.
Thanks for coming in. Could you just introduce
Yeah,
yourself?
I'm Michael Wheeler, this is my wife, Elizabeth Lawson. We live at 2650 Vermont 14.
is that on top of the hill?
North.
Yeah, north, yeah, right on top of the hill.
Yeah. On the right hand side going north.
Yeah, so right before you drop.
Yeah.
Down the hill to.
Yeah.
North Montpelier.
Yeah.
There's just been a handful of accidents, a couple recently that were pretty bad. And there's also a commuters stop right at the top of that hill, more or less directly at the end of our drive. So they stop there because cell coverage drops off right before you get to North Montpelier. And it's a blind turn right there and it's a steep hill. So it's pretty treacherous as far as like trying to do anything on the side of the road. And so it's 50 miles an hour there. There's also obviously there's Orchard Valley School that's, a quarter of a mile before that. It changes to 35 at the bottom of the hill, more or less, I think right after you get through the center of North Montpelier.
Wait a minute, it changes.
Right,
Changed on
right
the
at the
hill.
top of the hill.
Yeah.
It changes to 35.
Right at the very top of the hill, it changes. to
Okay,
35.
yeah,
Right.
so the stretch right before the top of the hill.
Yeah,
It just seems logical for it to change to 35, stay at like Coburn Road right before before the school or a little bit before that, and then pick back up at 50 after you get through North Montpelier. So that was just that was our thinking.
so I think basically the way this worked before is the state has to do a traffic study.
They do.
So there's a whole email chain that we've gotten.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Alright,
and in my.
on this instance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, my understanding is that. The RPC or the state can do the traffic study.
Yeah.
But the RPC traffic study would be redone by the state.
Oh.
So is Keith still with us?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, he is still with us, but not with us.
Cause what I didn't understand was, I mean, is the RPC one a little bit quicker? Could we get some preliminary results from that would help us understand whether we wanted to take the next step of asking the state, or are they just completely similar and duplicative?
But who asked the state or the RPC to do it?
So we would have to do that as a
Yes,
town, the way I
right.
understand it,
Right,
and
that's what we did by
Right.
methods. We had
And-
that changed. We didn't really change it, but we asked for a traffic study.
exactly,
Yeah.
and so the state does a study and a basis of
Yeah,
a number of things, including, and this is it's always struck me as kind of weird, but they say that the speed limit should be based on how fast people are driving right now.
Well, that should be 65.
But there are more details in this email chain that I wasn't aware of, that they do the study and they look at the 85th percentile. And they try to set it at what the 85th percentile of the speeds there are. With the idea that, I guess, that people don't pay much attention to speed limit signs. And just so however fast the road is set up to be driven on, people drive that speed.
Also, it's the number of driveways within a quarter of a mile.
And they have other considerations, including accident rates.
And
there.
accident rates is part of that.
And one of the results from it may be, one result might be to raise a recommendation to raise the speed limit. But
Not likely.
not likely. Another response possible is to say speed limit changing won't help, but more enforcement of the existing speed limit is called for. So
May I speak? This is a really hot topic in North Montpelier right now, and I represent a number of elders, and I'm so glad this topic has been raised. There are a number of elders that have to cross the street, literally in a 50-mile-per-hour zone, with a daycare and a Waldorf school right next door. And we have elders and children whose lives are in danger, and the 50-mile-per-hour zone happens to be right next to my mailbox. It is completely erroneous. It should not be there. This is a topic that the North Montpelier Community Trust, the elders, want to take up with a great deal of enthusiasm. So I'm so glad it's being proposed now. But I have to say, we are an accident waiting to happen. My mom crosses that road every day, and I worry her life will be, but she's just one of many. There are a number of elders who are hard of hearing, dealing with dementia, and they are crossing the road in a 50-mile-per-hour zone. And but I totally disagree with you, Carl. This should not be based upon what the average speed limit is. This has to be based upon the fact that we normally have a daycare, we have elders living in this place. It was a town that was a functioning town.
Okay.
Montpelier. We pull up the hill. So we need to take this up. This is a very serious matter, and the elders care deeply about it in North Montpelier. Thank you very much for bringing this up.
Okay, Carl was just saying, these are some of the criteria. It's not.
you're not
Carl's
disagreeing
opinion.
with me, Selena.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. One issue that you could do on that stretch of road is put the mailboxes on the side of the houses, because what's going on, people cross to get their mail. And all the mailboxes are on the left side of the road, so everyone.
The post office refuses.
But
It's
anyway,
not possible.
that's a different topic.
That's a post office rule.
Yeah, I know why they're doing it, but anyway,
Okay.
there's somebody else up there that has their hand up? No, I don't see anybody. Okay,
So how can we proceed here?
we have to
I'll
ask,
make a motion that we ask the state to do
Yeah.
the traffic study.
Yeah.
I think it's redundant to have the
Yeah.
regional plan commission to do it.
we'll just try to do the state.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
that's,
that's what we did
and that's
out
the quick, and that's the quickest avenue.
That's the
Yeah.
quickest avenue.
Right.
That's what we
I'll
have to do.
second.
Yeah, that's the first step.
And then the results of those studies go to the Vermont Traffic Committee. It meets 3 times per year, so any requests could take 6 to 12 months to process.
Oh, yeah, Yeah.
There's no way to fast track this if it's an emergency.
it's not an emergency.
Well, if someone gets hurt or killed, it's an
Yes.
emergency.
Could be
Yeah.
an emergency. We could, yeah. I mean, I think this should be escalated.
Okay, we're gonna have to have a study. We'll make a motion for that effect.
The
I
one
made a
has been
motion.
made and seconded.
Oh, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I appear to have it, I do have it.
Who seconded it?
Scott.
Scott.
If
Thanks.
there's anything we can do to fast track this, if anybody finds a loophole or something, I would be in favor of promoting that.
I haven't seen one.
I haven't either.
I understand.
We've had this
If-
request before,
Okay,
and we have been successful.
Yeah,
We had a change down here, but.
okay, rather not wait 6 to 12.
Right.
and I want to be clear, what I think we're looking for is a safer road.
Yeah.
And, a speed limit is one means to that end, changing the speed limit. There may be other means that are more effective, and I would like us to remain open to whatever means we can use to create a safer road.
It's definitely a fast people go fast. I mean, I pull out of Hammer Hill all the
Yeah.
time with fire machinery. I'm like, oh my God, they're coming way too fast.
Right?
You know, because they come over that
It's very
rise
hard.
and the
It's like-
visibility is
Give
terrible.
us in the loop, because then,
Yeah.
We pull out there every day, yeah.
Yeah,
Sound safety for
the same thing.
pedestrians.
That was going too fast. So,
yeah. All
okay,
right.
Cool.
okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank
very
you.
much. Yeah.
Thanks for.
But the car that flipped over and ruined my fence there, the lady was inebriated and she was driving with suspended license, so.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
had
it
one
was
this
a
summer, too.
couple months ago, and we took out a big tree, you know, six.
It was big.
Yeah,
Just like the guy that was
Flipped right
killed
Oh,
in
yeah.
flats, same thing.
Yeah.
He was,
2 years ago.
yeah.
It's all in the same area.
So speed limit won't help.
No,
I don't know.
in that case, yeah, I mean,
It's hard to, well, we had to clean up this mess and it kind of, what was left there definitely indicated that there was some, under the influence stuff, but yeah, I mean.
well, it'd be nice to get at least the speed limit lowered, you know,
Yeah.
or do something.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
thank you for coming.
guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, speed limit, so consideration. Consideration of opioid secondary settlement. Now, we've already, this is the second time we've looked
Yeah.
at this. And we need another signature, is that correct? I believe,
So I was sent the email, asking, for a signature with the deadline of October 8th.
Did you guys not normally do this when Gina was here?
do what?
Do
Did you do this, the signatures or whatever for the opioid stuff?
No,
So you never did it?
No,
First we heard of this was a month ago.
yeah, but, Jen had some good ideas about what to do with money.
Yeah,
right?
well,
Yeah.
we're covering it, it's fine.
Yeah.
It was discussed in the audit, so.
Yeah.
It's handled, okay.
Yeah, but the rest of the site probably want to know how to.
Well, so basically, well, since we've started
Yeah.
getting opioid money, we've gotten about $7,000 since like 2020.
a
The
lot.
audit, it's a lot, and there's a couple options you can do with it. When I discussed it with the auditors, I asked what other towns are doing. He basically said, you bury it and you use it because you're using it for like your police services in the
Yeah.
town. So that's basically what it's going towards.
Right,
Great.
which is a
And
good
we
idea.
can use it for other things. We can use it to buy sharp boxes or the other things like, we
Yeah,
have more
today.
cameras. We did buy more cameras, so that's
Okay, great.
part of it. I mean,
Yeah,
we
there's
are
no,
using
there's
it for
more
things.
creative
Or
uses of
EMF,
money.
the EMF.
For
Yeah, we use for.
Oh,
The
right.
EMF.
Great.
So that was good,
Fabulous.
but it's nice to know how you've. You know,
Well.
Yeah.
So we were like, what are other towns doing with it all? And
Yeah,
it's like,
no,
no,
they
it's
bury it
no,
and,
They're not
yeah,
burying it, we're using.
right,
we're using it in
using
ways that we weren't
Right.
weren't really expecting to.
We're
use.
using it effectively.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
In
Towards
our ways
services
we can
that
use it.
aid and-
Yeah, that was-
So
The community.
question is, are we going to use this to pay for things that we would be doing otherwise? Or are we going to do what we did the last time this choice came up and say, okay, we want our share to go to the state fund that will
No.
be used to address
Otherwise.
the opioid?
We can put this to good use.
Yeah, so we put
Payer
it back
costs.
in the general budget, but we
No,
can
we're
use
gonna
it
use
for
this effectively.
law
not paying
which
for
we're
Our
on.
medical services, yeah.
Yes.
Just for that expense.
I mean, we did have another option too, if we could give
It's-
some
it's-
to the fire.
Whatever,
We've talked
we're
about-
using.
And we
this-
can do it,
We
but
could
we
do
can do
that.
it part of the money that we give them anyway.
Yes,
We're
right,
using, we're on live here, we're using this in an appropriate manner.
we are, definitely,
Period.
we absolutely,
Absolutely.
we've been blessed by the auditors, we're good.
There you go.
We're safe.
Enough said.
Yeah,
And I did look into the state and, no one got back to me.
Yeah.
There's a whole committee. And
Oh, really?
Getting response, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay,
So on
I'm,
this
I'm,
second-
I'm inclined to use the money for opiate treatment and effective means, but if we have reached out to the people in the state who are responsible for it and they aren't getting back to us, then it's hard for us to make a decision on that basis. When did you reach out to them?
When it
A while
first
ago.
came up, like, what, a month ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough time.
Yeah.
No, okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Do we get a motion to have staff over the Jonathan?
yeah. We do.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the town administrator
Yeah.
to sign this agreement.
To sign the combined participation form exhibit K, I believe.
exactly what you said.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
second,
You have a second?
yeah.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes appear to have it, do have. it.
Yeah, but you're-
What'd you say?
You don't want to put too much burden on your son to do stuff. So that's why.
Consideration of, okay, can we, are we still talking over there?
Go ahead.
Consideration of social media for the town.
Okay, I'll make this brief. I am researching more ways to reach out to voters. It's come to my attention that there are older voters who will use Facebook in order to keep track of their families, their kids, their grandkids, but they don't read Front Porch Forum. I double checked with the town attorney. I had a training a couple years ago. I want to make sure nothing had changed since then. The use of social media is in fact encouraged. However, the suggestion is that it be locked down as much as possible, not allowing any comments, that it's available to be used for announcements only. The intent for this would be, we would have unofficial East Montpelier, Town of East Montpelier, Vermont Facebook page that we would update once a week or so. As well as using it for election news. We could use it for tax reminders, dog licenses, select board meetings, what have you. But before we just go ahead and do something like that, I wanted to talk with you folks about your feelings, whether we could do that or not. I will say just really quickly, reactions cannot be locked down. So there's a possibility that I say something, I put out a notice that's very unpopular and we get a bunch of thumbs down. Or smiley faces or what have you. But the intent is not to be conducting business online, but rather to be giving more information to people in the hopes that it attracts more people. You have a question for me?
Yeah.
I do.
So I don't know if there's any better way to lock Facebook down. Facebook is the most hacked social media in the world.
There's also 2 billion people.
I understand that. My wife's happened to be one that got hacked. Even though we have controls in place.
Mhm.
So before you do that, I think you need to talk to RB Tech
Okay,
and see if there's any way to tighten that up more than traditional.
So this is in
that's
addition to our website and all that good stuff,
it is.
yeah.
I'm not on Facebook, but I am on Instagram. Would you consider Instagram too?
Sure.
Because I check that most days and. You know, we're not putting information out. If it gets hacked, it gets hacked. I mean, yes, Tom is a good
Well,
suggestion,
he
but
wants to make sure that.
I
you
just
know,
don't
emails are
want to
not-
be able to get into the rest of our systems.
Right.
That's my concern.
I'd be concerned about somebody putting out something in our name.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's kind of,
So what happened to my wife is that they hacked into hers, impersonated hers and asked,
And started.
no, they asked for funds to start up a business.
Right.
And fortunately, one of the people called my wife and said, I know you real well. That's not something you would be doing.
right,
So she went on and we deleted it, but it took a lot of, and we had controls in place supposedly through Facebook, so that couldn't happen, but it did. So
Are there recommendations from the Town Clerks Association or VLCT about this one way or the other?
Not from either one of those. We've just basically been told to consult our town attorney.
Okay.
It isn't something we have to do. It's just something that was considered, recently. The office has participated in some elections information, and one of the places where we can use improvement is more communication. And since I don't have a budget in place to send postcards out, which I could do, this was just a thought. And again, it's not required, it's not mandatory, and I'm hearing that there's a little bit of concern that bad things could happen. We don't have to do it. I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
all right, other towns saying,
research it.
There are other towns doing it. Berlin's got one.
I'm positive.
We've got the town fair and town meeting coming up in a month or so. So how about we chat up people there
Sure.
and find out what other towns are experiencing with it and then circle back to it at our second meeting in
Right.
October.
Are you all wanted to?
Berlin has one
Really, all of you?
I would.
No.
for the town itself,
I know you.
and they also, Berlin has a page for the town itself, and it also has one for the police department. Their police department does a lot of outreach in there.
So we have one conversation at a time, I can't listen to two.
Oh, you don't have to.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion um, to ask the town clerk to establish social media. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna, we can
How
ask.
about if you say you want to establish a social media presence
Yes.
on Instagram and Facebook
With.
after talking with our,
After further research.
after researching with our IT.
Canvassing the
Yeah,
town.
I mean, to Tom's point, we should.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
no, of course,
Yeah.
we're not disagreeing on
I'm
that.
not gonna,
thing I'm concerned.
I'm not gonna vote for it until we've done the research, I don't believe in passing motions based on things that we don't know.
I kind of agree with you, actually.
Okay,
I'm
well, we
not-
can just, if that's the way you wanna do it.
I'd rather have
just
the research done.
Have the research done, I can come
I
back
think you should shelve it.
if you would like to shelve your
He's
motion.
just in a hurry.
No, I'm not in a hurry.
Like, you agree
No,
with-
my
you
point
agree
is,
with
what are you
concept.
gonna research
You
this?
agree with the concept.
They're gonna come back and say, yeah,
There's a risk.
I mean,
Always a
what are we
risk.
talking about? This is, I understand things can be hacked. I get it, but this is 2025. You know what the answer's gonna be.
Yeah, 2025 doesn't always move in the right direction.
I agree, then don't do social media though, because you're gonna come back with.
I think you should shelve it personally
Yeah.
until we get a little further feedback.
Yeah.
That okay with you?
Well, I haven't heard a second, so.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't say
Alright.
it. Tom didn't either, and Kyle didn't either. So the motion died on the floor. Thank you.
So the town clerk will do some
Yes.
more research.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
easy
Thank you.
peasy. Okay, the next item. Treasury report. Is that why you're here?
No, I just wanted to come.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
And we love your presence. Thank you for coming.
Here we are.
I don't believe that, but that's okay.
That's how I want to spend my Monday night.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
A good time.
Yeah,
The board-
it's a good time.
Thank you for coming.
All right, did everybody read my memo?
I did.
Okay. Any questions?
I've
It's all good.
I've read all your treasury reports.
Yeah.
Our investments are doing well.
They are,
treasury bills,
and we've got
needs.
some more way.
Okay.
I kind of talked with Chad about that too, the
Okay.
auditor,
Mhm.
and we talked about like cash flows. He's like, you got plenty of money. He's like, I just put another million right in.
Okay.
So that's, I'm gonna have to bring a motion. for-
Right, and obviously if you, but as you know, if you buy treasury bills on the secondary
They are.
market,
He did buy some.
if you buy treasury bills on the secondary market, they can be liquidated the next day.
Yes.
It's not like a
Yes.
CD, there's no penalties.
Yeah.
Unless interest rates go up, then your principal's worth less, as
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so it's a no-brainer,
And I'm on
no-brainer.
top of it, like, I have them all on my calendar now, so every time one
That
comes
was-
ready to be due.
What's that?
The second time I've heard that tonight.
Yeah, I know.
What?
The no-brainer thing. I
Oh.
hate
It's
that.
a trigger, it's a trigger.
I'll never forget
Yes.
when Larry Brown came in and said, it's a no-brainer on the
It was
ambulance
Larry
service.
Brown.
Larry Brown is the one that was instrumental in getting the building built for emergency
Oh.
services.
Okay.
He came, this is a no-brainer, we can just take our ambulance revenue and pay all the bills. I'm like, okay. Anyway, the no-brainer, thank you.
Thank you for being on top of.
So one thing though.
So one thing we did discuss, remember about the bond money? What was that?
What was the question?
No, the question was they could invest the money that we're going to borrow.
Yes, and we can, and they are, we signed the form and we're
Okay.
doing that now.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
We did.
yeah. it's
Okay,
done. And I asked if we could get like retroactive, and they said basically no,
well, of course not.
because we should have known that they could do that. I
Yeah.
didn't know,
Okay,
so Chad pointed that out,
okay,
but now we know.
yeah,
Now we know. So we do have a tax sale coming up. We'll
Yeah.
have the engagement letter next time.
Hmm.
Three
Yeah.
people, 3 taxpayers are going.
Wow.
That's not bad though. It used to be like 8 and it was like 5 and now it's down to 3. Which will probably.
what was the delinquent tax last year?
Well. Well, wait a minute, I gotta answer both of you. Well,
Yeah.
communicate, they've had tons of communication.
So they have communicated with you?
Yes, I'm working with, well, one of them I haven't heard from at all. But one knows, the one that was the most is very aware, and she's trying to deal with it and get a second mortgage, and
Okay.
I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it's, she owes us like 23,000, so she's the brunt of
Oh.
it,
That's a bummer.
yeah. The other two are lower, But you can't even take someone to tax sale now unless they owe over 1,500. Even if they're out a few years, you can't.
Really?
That's really.
1,500
When did that change?
Last
This
year.
Past year.
Last
Yeah,
year.
July 1st, yeah.
are the sales imminent,
Well,
Huh?
are the sales imminent?
What do you mean,
Tax sales?
What do you
Are they
mean?
imminent? I think we'll end up getting the money.
it takes a while.
Yeah.
To process.
Yeah. I think it'll be the same thing as always happens.
Yeah,
We're
they
gonna
usually
do all the
pay
work.
Day before.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it'll
so
end up, it'll be.
what was the total delinquent? I haven't read this whole thing. What
Total
was the
link right
last-
now is 114,
I see.
811, but that's all for last year. It was higher at this point. Every
Okay.
year we're going down.
Yeah. I mean, we have been going down.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yep. It's really good. So, building update, you guys like the floor?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Isn't
Beautiful.
that nice?
Yeah,
Good job.
I know, it smells like a flooring store when you walk in here.
Beautiful, that's great.
So we're talking about getting a different conference table.
Why?
Because we want to get one big one, Seth, with
Why?
like the holes in the middle, so we can get rid of the 5 tables, it'll
Just
just have,
like garbage.
yeah.
So this
Yeah,
is
this is
the point
not
I'm trying to make, is
What?
even on your rec shelter, is you're trying to project an image of richness and
Nuh-uh.
affluence.
And,
No, no,
no,
No, we
she's
just
talking
wanna
about
be
spending
professional.
$50,000 for this table.
say what?
We're making a joke.
Uh,
The point is, you're talking about a minimal amount.
Okay,
of
so,
expenditure.
Table in Barry
yeah,
at O'Reilly's, and they're asking 300, but I was like, it's a 9'11" by 4, it's big, it's oak, it's nice, it's oval.
how big is?
9'11" by 4.
By 4.
So these
That's not very
tables,
big.
when we have gatherings.
9'11",
That's
that's,
not big, I think 9'11"
No.
is huge.
So when we have gatherings here, when we have Christmas
I know,
gatherings, and we just put these
Right.
aside and
It's
we have the
easy.
whole room to work with.
exactly.
How did that work with a big open?
That's not that big, it's 9'11".
I don't know, we have to move.
This
it up.
goes from here to
I mean,
that
you
quote.
can't fold it up. 'cause doesn't have
It
a
goes
top.
from here to a soda.
That's
We
a
could
good-
use the
And
big
4 feet
conference
wide is
table up
looking
against the
here.
wall as the buffet.
Yeah.
Carl's point.
I know.
But what our goal is to get a decent conference table and to get some different chairs. That's the goal. And we're looking
Why?
at like used stuff,
Okay.
new to us,
Yeah.
a secondhand, like a clean out from a company, you know, and they have like this, because these chairs are horrible, they're uncomfortable and everybody complains about them. I don't
I've
know.
never heard me complain.
how
I've
you-
been here for
I've
15
heard
years.
You don't
Have
sit
you
on
ever
the
complained,
slant.
Tom? I haven't heard you complain.
You don't sit on the slant, Seth.
I can.
I have a complaint about the slant. but
I will sit on the
It's not, it's not the chair.
If you need somebody to complain about the chairs, I'll complain about the chairs.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
I have a skinny ass.
When I have a skinny ass too. Are you the same way I have a fat ass?
No,
Okay,
So we're kind of, we've been
okay.
looking for something just reasonable, like under $1,000.
so you're gonna move that oak table out of here, this
When we
9 foot
move it
11.
out, we push it to the side.
It's
know,
less
like-
than 10 feet long. That's from here to your soda.
Well, I mean, if we can
So I
find a
might-
bigger
I
one,
might know where there's one.
Okay.
that's
perfect,
Bigger one, that'd be fun.
Bigger one like this.
not a
They might
foldable
even.
though, right?
No,
Like a conference table,
yeah.
yes.
Comes from a company and I'm not sure they got rid of it yet, but if they haven't gotten rid of it, would surprise me if they donated it to us.
That's, yeah,
I think we should,
And
I think we
I
should.
know
look
that
up
it cost them like $18,000.
exactly, that's what we're looking
I've
for,
already-
we're looking for a deal.
So I'm wondering how we're gonna get this thing in here.
Well, come in the front door,
Uh-huh.
turn it around.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of
I'm
stuff
not
for that
kidding,
side.
I'm not.
And what we're gonna do if we wanna use the whole room.
Just push it to the side.
9 foot 11 is too small.
But
Right,
before,
no, if
before
we
you
can
buy
find a
the
bigger
9
one,
foot
that's fine.
11, just let me reach
Yeah.
out to this company
Yeah.
and see if they
I
got
just
rid of
want-
it.
Yeah.
I just want
Because
you
I'm pretty
guys
sure
to
they'll-
tell me if it's okay for us to do this.
or
That's not a fence.
If we find a big conference.
I'm on the wrong side of the fence.
And we find some decent used chairs that are all the same, are we okay to get them?
I'm.
So why do you wanna be more comfortable?
Maybe-
Get the
maybe-
hell out of here.
Make us look more
My
professional.
ass hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good thing.
You want your ass to be.
Yes, then I'll get the heck out of here.
We just want to look more professional, we think
I
it's
know,
the
that's-
last piece, it's the last piece. kind of.
Looks like we had a float or something.
I'll get back to you.
Professional
Okay,
organization.
thank you.
I'll get back to you.
I think
Slow
we should-
down. I mean, I'm looking as cheap as we can get,
I think we
I'm
should
looking for
establish-
deals.
we should establish a formal committee.
Yeah, that's right. Can we move on?
I did find some decent chairs.
I know why you're here. 'Cause you want better chairs.
All right, I'll just keep you posted as I find stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Play it by ear.
There's a lot of ramifications for getting this more comfortable.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, chairs and table would make a
I'll
big.
keep pushing you to get the hell out of it.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for your investigation.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all the effort. you
My,
put
my
into the
bubble,
chairs.
hopefully, thank you too.
To the vents too, if you really want. We gotta get new vents too. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all those have to be replaced too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more into substance, not appearance, but that's okay. Whatever. Okay, let's continue on. We have
It's
more
all
things to do.
Okay.
We gotta
Thank
do
you.
this.
Goodbye.
Thank you, thanks for sticking around.
Thank you. Yeah.
Safe travels home.
Yeah, thank you for all the work.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right,
Thank you.
treasury report, I guess that was a treasury reporting?
That was?
Yeah.
It was.
Chairs and table, okay. Warrant, we have a personnel discussion, but we should do that after a town administrative report. Is that correct?
And then was there a tree thing?
What's that?
Was there a tree thing?
A tree thing?
There is a
They
tree
didn't come in. Oh, no, she's right here.
She's right
No,
here.
let's do the tree thing. Well, let's do the tree thing before you record. Anywhere you'd like to, ma'am. Just be aware that the chairs are uncomfortable.
And if you can sign it, too, that
That's right. Skinny asses beware.
She's used to sitting in sea kayaks, so she has no problem.
Okay,
Does anybody want to buy some nice sea kayaks? My name is Lauren Starr. I live on Powderhorn Glen Road, which is off of County Road.
yes. Do you know what?
Right by Helen and Lawrence.
Right down the road
I
from
know.
Helen.
I do.
Okay.
There is a tree on our property. It is in the town right of way. And Guthrie has said, yes, it is in the town of right of way.
Right.
It is the town's responsibility. It will be the town's liability if it drops a branch on a kid. And it's a big poplar tree. It's got dead branches coming off. You want, I can show you pictures. I won't waste your time. Guthrie came and looked at it, I'm thinking last fall, and realized it was not a job for a guy with a chainsaw. It needs a professional tree taking down. Neighbors have also looked at it and said, no, they're not interested in trying to cut it down with a chainsaw. It needs to come down. Guthrie brought Paul in, our tree warden. He said, yes, it is a dying tree, and yes, it is dangerous. It has dropped branches that were so heavy that I couldn't get them off our lawn. I had to get a neighbor's help. So in my personal opinion, the town's looking at a big liability. We have lots of little kids riding bikes, strollers, dog walkers. It is a small dead-end road with only 11 houses, and it has a surprising amount of foot traffic. So I have reached out to Guthrie. I've sent emails to the town. We would love to know if there's any schedule for taking that tree down.
There hasn't been.
No,
Don't we have a process? We're involving the tree warden, that if a property owner wants to take down a tree on town right of way, that they go through the tree warden and can get permission to do so,
Well, they've
They
already
did
gotten the
that.
tree warden here,
right? You talk to the
Okay.
tree,
but it's in the town right away.
but yeah.
But it's still, the town right away. Okay, so we have the right to cut trees,
Right.
landowners, in the town right away. That's how the
And we
statute
can-
stands right now,
And we can give landowners permission to cut the trees as well.
probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But we don't,
But are we
we
liable?
don't go around cutting trees in the right of way very
No, you
often.
can't, you, you could if
I
it
mean,
was,
the ash
if
trees.
it was deemed to be dangerous.
Yeah, the ash trees we've been cutting,
We have, and they're in the town right away, they're actually on people's land.
right, right.
So I haven't seen the tree, but let me ask you a question. Is it near a utility right away?
pretty near. You mean in terms of dig safe?
No, power.
No,
power.
power.
They're all buried.
They're all buried.
Oh, so that doesn't give you
that.
anything.
Cause I had one that was right on the corner, by my barn, and I got Green Mountain Power to take it down.
Yeah,
Because there's a
right,
anchor pole right there, and like they said, if it comes
Yeah.
down, you're gonna take 25 holes down the road.
Alas, no, you can't get wet to cut this.
So saying there's a town liability is probably a little hasty in this determining that. Because as the statute stands right now, the trees that are on your land, even if they're in the town right away, you are in control of trees. If you own that piece of land
We do.
and the town right away is there, those trees are under your control, not the town's. That's
So
what
if a
statute,
branch
I believe.
falls and injures somebody, I'm liable?
I don't know what the law is on tree branches.
Do you know any lawyers?
But
So I was
you-
involved in one when I was fire chief on Barnes Road, and it went right through the windshield of the car, injured the lady, and the landowner was sued as well as the town. And it
But
was
what
in the
happened?
town's right away. I don't remember exactly what.
But you do
happened.
realize they've changed the statutes. They changed the statute.
They
on
did?
trees as, because of the case in Addison County, where the farmer cut the trees along the road. They clarified the statute because the town sued the landowner for cutting those trees in the town right away.
Oh,
And actually, the landowner won, and they changed the statute because of that.
okay.
And
I
they
didn't know
determined
that.
if you don't have shade tree designation for those trees along the road, then the landowner owns those trees. And the landowner can do anything they want with the trees in the town right away if the town has not designated them as shade trees. Which we defeated, well, I'm not gonna say defeated, but we did have a plan presented by the town.
I remember.
Okay, but a lot of people came in and they were not happy about that because they want to be able to cut trees in the town right away
Including
without
myself.
asking the town's permission. But that's what happened. So to answer your question about that tree. It is in the town right away, but if it's on your land, it's your tree. Correct. That's the way I read it. I'm not a lawyer, but. Now, the other thing we could do, I mean, we could get the tree removed. We'd have to hire it done.
And then, okay, what's our policy in terms of
We've never done
going
that.
around and removing?
I know,
trees
we've
that
never
landowners
done it
request?
since I've been on the select
Yeah.
board, but we have removed the ash trees,
Right,
but that's because they were a liability.
yeah,
We determined that species of liability because of the EAB, the.
that was a
board.
townwide.
That was a
issue.
town-wide issue, right? A dead poplar that's dying on somebody's lawn.
I've got some maples that are dropping.
Right.
Just we're gonna have people come and take my
I
maples.
just cut my own, but
Yeah.
whatever, I push them over the
Anyway,
tractor.
back on.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out what we've done in the past. Yeah, I mean, we can pursue it and find out what the legal ramifications of that tree, and we could look at it. You have pictures?
Yeah, she said, there's
Yeah,
one
she does.
here.
Oh, that's the tree?
I don't see
It
where
looks
the
like a
road
lot
is.
of tree, it looks like a lot of leaves on it to me.
Yeah.
Am I looking at the right tree?
A lot of it is alive.
Yeah,
but it's
majority's
got
alive.
Dead branches that are.
Yeah. Dead branches come off trees, however,
Yeah,
They do,
yeah.
and they have from
They
this
have.
tree.
and they have. So I don't think it's been the town policy to go around cutting trees on people's lawns that are in the town right away.
It's not that big a tree.
I should have had someone standing in front of it.
Yeah, how many inches around diameter is it? Oh, if it's diameter. Yeah, that doesn't look that big. That's a poplar or a white birch?
It's a poplar tree.
It's a poplar tree.
Looks
Yeah.
like boxes in there.
But
Where's the road? Is that the road that was standing in the road and took the picture?
it's about, I was standing in the road, but right at the corner, it's about this far from the road.
Yeah, it is in the town right away.
Oh, yeah, I measured it.
Yeah,
And Guthrie said it was as well.
So,
yeah.
Couldn't we
No, I
put
believe
it over with the water?
probably could just push it over, but that's what I would do. But that's what I do every day, but whatever. Try to push it, but whatever. Yeah,
Okay, so I should go back to the neighbors and say. Just to
get
be
together
clear,
and cut the tree or
The town.
hire somebody to cut it.
there are lots of arborists in here.
Yeah. I don't think it's our
Okay,
responsibility.
that's a
If
good.
you're looking at the statute, how it's been changed and how our trees have been impacted by that statute. Is we do not have a shade tree policy that says those are our responsibility. You have to designate the roads that those trees on to have that work. And we did not do it. We did not say, oh, the shade trees and we have the responsibility of cutting those trees. We left it that the landowner owns those trees. And they can do what they want with their trees.
Certainly sympathize, does. If, for instance, we decided to have the town pay and cut it down, that would, it would appear to set a,
Yes,
not a good precedent.
exactly. Because we're not going around cutting trees on people's lawns,
That's
et cetera, et cetera.
That's,
But there are times where there's a dead tree right by the road that we've deemed is dangerous.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying, if we can push it over with a loader,
Right.
there's no reason not to do it.
There really isn't, because we'd have permission from the landowner to do it.
Right.
Yes, you would.
Right, that's what we would.
and then it's easy to cut up. You don't have to pay somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe I
neighbors
can
will
get
take-
Guthrie, put the buzz down tomorrow morning after the meeting, and
I can talk to him tomorrow. I'm gonna be at the meeting.
you're gonna be at the meeting too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just,
I'll mention it.
thank you, I appreciate that. If it turns out he is willing to give it a shot, people should be warned.
Are there power
because
lines there?
They're all buried.
Oh, so there's no power lines.
No,
Oh, so what's the problem with cutting it down? Gonna hit your house?
it would cost $1,000.
Oh, where's the chainsaw? You don't have one?
Guthrie looked at it and decided it was a big enough and complicated enough job that it was not just one person with a chainsaw.
Okay.
You'll talk.
We'll pursue it.
You'll talk.
I'll talk to him
I
tomorrow.
appreciate that.
Maybe I'll go down and look at it. Maybe I'll bring the chainsaw.
You're free.
Okay. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in and hanging out.
And was that chair uncomfortable for you sitting? Yeah. Was that chair uncomfortable for you?
It's wonderful. I think
Yeah.
this table
I vote- I
is
voted-
beautiful.
I think so too.
It's very.
I vote against taking any action against this tree.
Oh, wait.
Unless some really nice poplar wood plank.
Yeah, to build a table.
Wow, they told we could hold it up right against the.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren.
All right. Now we'd like to hear the town administrator report, please.
We have a VMCTA conference, so the clerk and treasurer office will be closed Monday, September 15th. And Tuesday, September 16th, for some annual professional development. The road erosion inventory was completed, so we have charts available, and links available on the website to those charts. And they have identified 4 segments that, need attention: Putnam Road, Fair Road, Kelton Road, Horn and the Moon Road. So that's what the survey showed needed work. However, there's other road issues and we have a road tracker for that as well. Some other topics, the Dream Grant flyer went out. And it has a QR code to the Collective Well Foundation website with more information about the opportunities for that. We had the Recreation Committee Board update their soccer registration form with some tips from the town lawyer. The town garage, we got a new schedule. They're currently working on loading the WEC load sheet for electric there. The site pins go in this week from Latitudes. And then RB Tech wanted to do a security password project, which would require some time from the town team, municipal team. However, this is a service that we're already paying for. So it's to store passwords safely versus folks having stick-it notes and whatnot in a central location.
High tech.
Sounds like something to do before getting a social media.
It was, oh, come on, you took my joke away.
It centralizes all the credentials, password credentials. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we still haven't done the personnel
Mhm.
issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it personnel or is it for an elected?
What's that?
Is it, just bear with me, but for the purposes of the Vermont Open Meeting Law, are we doing this for a personnel matter or are we discussing an elected official?
I don't know.
Elected official.
Okay,
Okay, but
So-
that's still
so
under
you
that.
don't need 2 motions if you're doing it. If you're discussing an elected official.
But you need a motion to go in and a motion to come out.
Right, but sometimes you need two motions. You know what I'm talking about, Carl?
Yeah,
But that's
sometimes we
actually
need
more
two
for
motions
contracts, yeah.
For contracts,
Yeah.
yeah, for personnel, I
Okay.
don't think you need to, but
No.
I don't think so. All
And
right,
you also need one to come out.
Right.
please.
Thank you.
okay, so, I think it's time that we went into the personnel discussion,
Okay,
because we don't have anything else,
okay,
unless you can think of something.
I probably can, but.
You probably
should
could,
have
God help us. Stifle yourself. You,
Sure, make a motion to go into executive session for a personnel matter.
For to discuss an elected official.
To elect us to.
well, no, that
discuss-
falls under the same designation.
No.
No, it's different on the polls. Okay, you have two people, okay.
Okay.
Am I amending
I
what I
guess,
said?
right,
I'm never right. In your eyes, I'm never right.
that's not true. No, I take
Is
that
there a-
as much.
I don't know what the motion is.
Yeah, what's the motion?
He made the motion to
This doesn't
discuss
work.
the elected.
Would someone who knows what we're gonna be discussing, please tell us what the motion is?
Is it elected official and personnel? Do I have to put, can I say both?
You can say both.
Okay,
Okay.
we're gonna go to
I
executive session
realized that the
to
elected.
discuss
I
an
thought the
elected official
fell under
and a
the
personnel matter.
One of the changes that they made last year that. Well, no, it's always been that way. It's one of the subcategories that you're supposed to be cognizant of.
Right.
Yeah, but the subcategory is under personnel.
It is a subcategory.
Yes, but we're going in to discuss personnel matter.
And one elected official.
No, the elected official is under that.
No,
designation.
no,
No.
Separate.
It's different.
it's separate.
We just reviewed this a few
Oh.
months ago.
It's separate.
But we had the wrong
You
designation.
had the wrong.
Right.
Right.
Because they're separate.
Because they're separate.
You wanna keep talking about this or can we go into executive session?
Yeah, I second the motion.
Take a vote.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I don't mean to be,
No, that's
make
fine.
it
No,
difficult,
that's
but I
fine.
just wanna make sure we're doing it
I'm more
right.
clear on it. I thought it was a subcategory.
You can see clearly now? I can see clearly.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
so we need to do that. So we need to turn on both the media.
Recording stopped.
Yeah, okay, so we came out of executive session with the motion at 8:42 PM. What's next?
There was. Nothing I
Anything
can
else?
think
Did we
of.
cover
Okay,
it?
I move to adjourn.
We covered it?
To adjourn.
Mud Bud, motion to adjourn. Is there anything else? Well, you think there's something else?
I was just wondering if there should be some action taken, but I can't think of any action taken as a result of our discussion,
No,
but
No.
there actually is.
I mean, not as a select board.
Right, not as a select board,
Right.
correct. Yeah. All right. Yep.
Motion was made to adjourn.
All those in favor,
And you
please.
second it?
Yeah,
Yep, okay.
all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye.